What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to Sportskeeda MMA news. Jorge Masvidal was called out for allegedly sliding into Michel Pereira's wife's DMs, and he quickly turned the tables on that. Khabib Nurmagomedov opens up about longtime teammate Cain Velasquez. Michael Bisping warns Jake Paul about messing with a certain MMA manager. Ariel Helwani wants Khabib versus Tony on The Ultimate Fighter. And Daniel Cormier reveals the dark side of leaving fights to the judges. All this and more on today's edition of Sportskeeda MMA News. If you see any of your favorite fighters mentioned in today's video, make sure to blast that like button. Let's get started. Jorge Masvidal is known for many things. Sending Ben Askren to the Shadow Realm is one of them. Not doing the same to Colby and then sucker punching him at a steakhouse is another. But a classless adulterer he is not. After a turbulent main card this past Saturday, a victorious Michel Pereira called out Masvidal for allegedly sliding into his wife's DMs. Here's what he had to say. Masvidal, sent an emoji to my wife. The emoji with the two hands together like amen. He sent it to my wife. He didn't send it to me. I've never actually crossed paths with him. I didn't have a chance to ask him, so I figured I really want to understand. But I might as well understand inside the octagon. Settle it over there. Jorge Masvidal took to Twitter to respond to the allegations. Here's what Masvidal had to say. How crazy a world and how far has society fallen that this idiot Pereira would use his wife to hopefully one day get a paycheck and create a fake narrative to try and get a fight with me, when clearly he sees she slid into my DM. Wishing you guys the best. #marriagecounselor. He then attached a screenshot of Pereira's wife sliding into his DMs. With a response like that, maybe marriage counselor Masvidal doesn't have a bad ring to it. The 35-16 Masvidal has been on his own snafu since consecutive losses to Kamaru Usman and most recently Colby Covington at UFC 272. Now, apart from an opening trial in connection with his alleged attack on Colby Covington at Puppy Steak, Masvidal's MMA future remains uncertain. Who knows? Now that the 28-11 Michel Pereira will most likely take Ponzinibbio's 14th ranking after his 5th consecutive win, it might make sense to pair him with Masvidal, who hasn't won a fight since 2019 but remains the number 8 ranked welterweight. Was Michel Pereira using his wife to score a money fight with Jorge Masvidal? Leave a comment down below and you might be featured in tomorrow's video. How did Khabib Nurmagomedov become so dominant? Well, one of the reasons is having a championship teammate like Cain Velasquez. Recently, Khabib spoke about missing his dear friend and teammate Velasquez amid his ongoing trial. Khabib spoke to TMZ about wanting to visit Velasquez in jail and give him good energy. Here's what he said.
Yesterday I was talking with Coach Khav. I tell him any chance or it's possible to go and see him in jail, In Russia we can go and see anybody. I asked him because I don't know the law here in US. I asked him, I really want to go to see him. After a couple days I'm going to be in San Jose. I want to go to see him, shake his hand, give him good energy, Anybody in the world who respect himself, who love his family is going to do same thing. Come on, nobody going to think about law or something when you have something about your family. You have to protect your family. This is not fair. He sit in jail and other guy, he's outside. What about other guy? Okay, put this guy jail too. He's more dangerous for people than Cain Velasquez. He is most respectful guy I ever seen in my life. I was training with him more than 10 years. I know his family, everybody.
Khabib is echoing the sentiments of thousands of MMA fans who want to see justice served. Unfortunately, Velasquez was recently denied bail a second time under the auspices that he is still a threat to society, according to the judge. But this does not stop the MMA world from sporting the phrase #FreeCain. Do you agree with Khabib's sentiments? When former middleweight champion Michael Bisping speaks, we listen, especially when he has some sage advice. Well, who better to take that advice than undefeated pro boxer Jake Paul? Recently, Paul slammed infamous MMA manager Ali Abdelaziz, the man who manages pound-for-pound king Kamaru Usman. On a recent interview, Paul would call Abdelaziz a rat, a scumbag, and a criminal who got kicked out of the country after answering a question about Abdelaziz saying Canelo was ducking fighters. Michael Bisping thinks that Paul was being unwise. Here's what he had to say on his YouTube channel. I'm telling you right now, Jake Paul, listen, Ali Abdelaziz has got form, and as we saw, a black belt under Renzo Gracie, that's legit. 4th dan in judo, that's legit as well, and he is a former fighter himself. I never call for violence, but certain people need a good old slap, and Ali, you are the man in my opinion for doing that. There's been a couple of other interactions as well, so Jake Paul, if you're out there and see Ali Abdelaziz, he is coming for you, buddy. How much would you pay to see Jake Paul knock out Ali Abdelaziz? The most prolific nose in MMA journalism has brought an important idea about the future of MMA to light. After Saturday's fight night saw what many believe were 3 clear judging robberies, the narrative of open scoring has been rekindled. Open scoring is a system in which fighters know exactly where they stand on the judges' scorecards as the fight is happening. Ariel Helwani had a friendly back and forth with veteran UFC commentator Jon Anik about why he thinks open scoring should be implemented in the UFC as a possible antidote to scoring. Here's what Helwani had to say on Twitter. At this point, I can't honestly think of one good reason why every fighter on the planet, but in particular the ones fighting with so much at stake, wouldn't want open scoring. Jon Anik replied with, I'm starting to come around. I just think it puts a ton of pressure on the athlete when the crowd knows you're down in the final round and they destroy you because you're fatigued or can't pull the trigger for whatever reason, despite that you're trailing. I love this convo. And then Helwani said, I get it. I just feel at the end of the day the fighters deserve to know where they stand. There's also the drawback of thinking you won a round, seeing the score flash, getting mad and losing your composure. But I want them to have had as much info as possible, least they get. The system would allow fighters to pick up the pace and not settle for anything less than a definitive victory. Yet there is massive hesitancy from UFC brass to implement this. Helwani also spoke about his desire to see Khabib Nurmagomedov in competition again, even if it's not in the octagon. Recently, Tony Ferguson made it clear that he was open to coaching the Ultimate Fighter with Khabib as a means to fulfill Khabib's father's wishes of the 2 men competing one day. Helwani echoed Tony's sentiments and said this, I mean, if they were smart, they would do it. You know, squeeze some juice out of Khabib, why not? If he's not going to fight, put him in there. Hey, if we can't get Khabib and Tony fighting, let's get them doing some sort of Fugazi Coaches Challenge. Let's have them play ping pong against each other or climb a freaking wall, a rock climbing wall. After Tony vs Khabib was booked and cancelled 5 times, the MMA world will probably settle for watching them in a rock climbing competition at this point. Do you agree that the UFC needs open scoring? While you're still here, subscribe to Sportskeeda MMA and hit that bell. And last but not least, former double champion Daniel Cormier also has a few things to say about judges in MMA. On a recent YouTube video, Daniel Cormier spoke about how he thought Holly Holm won Saturday's main event despite the judges scoring it in favor of her opponent, Ketlin Vieira, and it seems the MMA world agrees. Cormier felt perplexed at how the judges were seeing these fights transpire, and he said this.
Last night was probably the most clear instance in which I felt like I did not know what I'm watching, I guess, because I was on the wrong side of 2 fights that I thought were going in one direction. They didn't.
Then Cormier stated that he would be attending an MMA judges seminar to learn more about what he should be seeing in a fight, so that he may be on the same page as these divisive judges. When the man who's earned championship credentials in 2 of the most difficult divisions in the sport has to attend a seminar on how to see a fight, the MMA world must be in a sad state. Do you think Daniel Cormier needs to attend a judging seminar? That about does it for Sportskeeda MMA News. Here are some of the best comments from today. Silva at 47 years old will start Jake Paul. Nunes by decapitation. First class mugging, worst judges of any sport ever, and that included Olympic sports. If you like this video, please like, comment and share. Your comments could be featured in the next Sportskeeda MMA News video. We always deliver daily content, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything going on in the MMA world. For updates, quotes and exclusive interviews from all your favorite fighters, follow Sportskeeda MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.